Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the king of 5.7x28mm. Even though people on Reddit don't like me saying that, we've got a brand new 5.7 firearm today from Keltec. It's been out for a while. This is the PR57. What's unique about this particular gun, it has no box magazine that you can actually eject from the gun. It's internal, and you use these little 10-round stripper clips to effectively load it from the top like you would some of our older military surplus guns. This gun has a 4-inch rotating barrel. As a size comparison, we have two different size PSA rocks. We've got the compact right here with the 4.3-inch barrel. Then we have the standard right here that has a 5.2-inch barrel. So you can see that this gun is quite a bit smaller than these other guys right here. Another unique feature of our PR57 is the disassembly. So you can actually just push the trigger forward and you'll be able to slide the top off there. This is hammer fired. It is pretty much like a double action only, although if you get a misfire or something, you cannot strike that again. You'll have to re-rack the slide. Here is that trigger pull I mentioned, so it's going to be very, very long. It's not too heavy. It breaks right there. One thing I do want to note though, typically when I shoot a lot, I will ride that reset out, which if you're not careful, you'll think is there, but it's actually not. You have to ride that all the way back out before you can pull that again. It's not too heavy. We do have a slide release on the left-hand side. Would appreciate being ambidextrous, but it does work. It is a rotating barrel. You can see that weird barrel on the front right there. We are drilled on our slide for an optic. It comes with a plate, and it's the RMS-C platform. That seemed to bolt up very nicely. The sights work for what they are. Inside, we have a pretty good machining there. We got a nice polished rail on the bottom there. Here is our little rotating barrel. Here is part of the mechanism that makes that happen, that kind of sits there. And here's the dual recoil guide rod assembly with springs. Here is our hammer. As I mentioned, it is double action only, at least that's what I'm going to call it. I mean, it does pretty much pull that hammer back and cock it, but once you've done that, you cannot pull it again, so you'd have to rack the slide. And it's kind of like a half-cocked hammer, but you're still pulling it all the way back and releasing it. I'm going to call that double action. There is the magazine, pretty much feed lips that hold that in there like that. Our serial number, so the grip frame module is not the serialized part, it's the internal inset, kind of like our SIG P320 or even our Ruger 5.7. To reassemble, you have to rotate that barrel a little bit to clear those front lugs there, and then you take this little piece, you get him put in there like that. That line goes to the back. Take your recoil spring assembly and you just kind of push it in there. The springs aren't that terribly strong like that. Make sure your trigger is pulled forward. You slide him on here, and then I will push that forward and you hear that click, and then it's ready to go. To load this, it's pretty much like you would think maybe M1 Grand or an SKS or anything with a stripper clip. You rock and lock these guys in here and push them down all the way until they click. It will fit 21 rounds in the magazine. So if you don't get one in there, you can just kind of put your fingers in there like that. And when you get 20, you'll see that follower right there is flush with the bottom of the magazine. You can fit 21 in there, and that will stick out, and then you're ready to go. As I mentioned, the trigger pull is long, but it's not terribly heavy. Getting a little bit of growing pains, teething on this, that it's not wanting to strip that round out. It's been doing it primarily with the AAC ammunition, but it has done it with some of the factory. And so the good thing is I will kind of like smack the side and pull that out with my fingernail. Like I said, if you don't ride that reset all the way out, you will have a dead trigger. So it's dead there. You gotta let that go all the way out. Wish it had a slide release on the right hand side for us southpaws. But this is not too bad of a little package. We do have velocity numbers in a short and on my Patreon of how much velocity that we're losing off this little short barrel. We will have to continue to put rounds down range in this to see how it will stack up after we get, 500 to 1,000 rounds for it. But again, since I'm the quote-unquote king of 5.7, figured I'd pick this up and start running this to see how it compares to the other guns. It could just need a little bit of break-in. I think we put around 200 rounds through it today. Most of the stoppages were occurring with the black coated AAC brass. Didn't have any issues with the EA coated brass or some of the factory FN brass. We were getting it to choke a couple times, but we'll see how it runs down range. With all that being said, I'm going to get the heck out of here. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family. They came out here today on a Sunday to do some shooting and hang out with me, so a big thank you to them. Deacon would like to remind you all to like and subscribe to these videos so that logarithm can work for us and not against us. Number two are my Patreon and YouTube channel members. I have a campsite in the description below. I can't tell you what's in it because YouTube will likely demonetize this video for me merely mentioning that I have that in the description below. That is how I support the channel. I'm never one to push sales your ways. But if you want to say thank you for the data that I presented, that's what those are there for. Of course, number three is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.